So Tyler, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. So product photographer, content creator. What do you got? Tell us.
Yeah, so I'm Tyler with Louisville Bourbon Buzz. That is
Yeah.
my started as my passion project. Now it's basically a job. But yeah, so I do content creation for X, Y, and Z brands, numerous brands out there. I've been a photographer for 16 or 17 years. So it's one of those things that I've always been a photographer, basically.
Oh, yeah, man.
And so, yeah, it's just grown into now including whiskey. And
Even
bourbon
better.
into it.
Well,
So-
before we get into that, we got to get a drink. So we
Absolutely.
did something different. You know, if you listen to our show, we like to do something a little bit different to every single guest. Things that I see like seem to be a big hit on Instagram
Oh, yeah.
is your blind bag tastings.
They love it.
So
That's
we
what
have
I heard.
decided to do our own
I love
blind
it.
bag tasting
I think it's
called
fantastic.
Stay Firkin Buzz.
Stay Firkin Buzz.
Really, that doesn't get better. than
Right?
that.
That's what I
It's
thought.
great. It's great.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pass out the first pour. We're going to have a couple sips, and then we'll I don't know, we'll like start into a little story, and then we'll go ahead and let you pop off the bag,
Okay.
and you tell us what you think. So,
Yeah.
Sounds great.
before we get into it, let's go through and let's cheers, and cheers to our guest, Tyler.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Cheers.
coming out.
Cheers, gents.
I'll give you a little bit of info on this, very, very little.
All right.
It is 95 proof, so start with a little bit of low proof because it's going. And then it is a rye based, so it is a rye whiskey.
Is it MGP?
It is MGP. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Uh-huh. This would probably be their 95 rye mash bill.
Fucking nose. On the absolute nose.
I don't know what it is, but I like
That's what
it.
to say. It's pretty good, right?
It's good. It's
So-
refreshing.
Rye's my favorite grain, man, and that's a good, refreshing, nice intro.
I'm coming around to rye.
Are you?
Were
I'm
you not a rye fan before?
I wasn't. No.
Really?
I think some of the ryes that I had dove into before were like really earthy ryes.
Yeah.
And I'm just not. I'm saying this, and I love Jeff the Creed, but I'm not big on earthy.
Yeah,
I
I
say Jeff the
understand.
Creed because they're very earthy.
They are very
profile.
early.
It is.
But I love their stuff. But yeah, like the 15 Stars rye.
Yeah.
First West, like made me realize like, oh shit, like there's a lot of good rye out there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is just another part of the journey of me
Absolutely.
getting into rye.
Yeah, so there's just something about rye. I don't know if it's that spice grain. I think it also comes to in time of drinking, of experiencing whiskey and bourbon.
Correct. Yeah.
As your
And also
palate
like
develops.
drinking rye on the rocks in the summer makes sense to me because
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
it
getting
does.
like that minty spearmint
Oh,
note off of
yeah.
rye.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you mix that with some cold rocks, and good summer patio.
Oh, just it's my favorite way to drink whiskeys on rocks. I mean, you say something pretty often in a lot of your Instagrams, which is drink whiskey however the way you fucking like.
Yeah, drink the bourbon the way you want to drink
Yeah,
it.
who the fuck cares?
Although
That's
nobody realized it, I was waiting for some guy or person to comment on my damn post, but I started saying my tagline wrong for like 3 episodes. I had recorded like 6 reviews back to back. So what happens when you drink that much alcohol? And I realized when I was editing them that my freaking tagline was wrong.
Yeah.
I started saying drink the bourbon the way you like it, and I was positive that was it.
Uh-huh.
And then when I edited, I was like, Tyler, you were fucking hammered. You were saying
That's
your
right.
own tagline that you've been saying for 6 months wrong. So, yes, it is in fact drink the bourbon the way you want to drink it.
And I can tell you, we've only recorded like 6, 7 of these episodes so far, and I can say that as we go along, recording things that are normal are the hardest
Yes,
things to do.
For sure.
Well, you ran a podcast. I mean, you have some experience in this, right?
Yeah. So I had the Stay Buzz podcast with my my buddy Clay. Yeah, it was one of those things that I started out COVID times because I was like, oh shit, I'll just talk to myself in my office.
That's right.
So I started that, and then I had my friend Clay on. He's also a photographer and avid bourbon enthusiast. And drunkenly, I was like, yeah, you should be my co-host. So then he joined the podcast, and then that was when life got crazy, business-wise, life-wise. So it was a struggle ever since he joined. But, it's all good. And unfortunately, that chapter is closed.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
Louisville Bourbon Buzz on Instagram.
Yep.
So how did you get there?
I started the page in 2015. This is what a lot of people don't know. I started the page in 2015, so 8 years ago, right? Yeah, 8 years ago. And basically just because I started drinking whiskey with my dad when I turned 21, which was in 2012.
Okay.
I didn't drink a drop of alcohol for 21 years of my life. And then the day I turned 21, I broke the lifestyle that I was choosing to live, which was called straight
You
edge.
really went deep, didn't you?
I did. Yep. And I was like, you know what? I've made it 21 years. I'm going to imbibe.
I'm gonna go ahead and gain back all those 21 years.
I got a lot of college years to catch up on. So I started drinking beer, mainly craft beer, and then bourbon became about, that 2012, 2013 was when I consider the boom really started. Right. And then in 2015, my dad and I, we cracked an old dusty Jack Daniels. Tastes just like you would expect it would, subpar.
Yeah.
And but I was like, whoa, that's fun. Like I got banana, I got oak and citrus, like all the notes that you get off of it. And I was like, that was fun, like to experiment.
Was that your first time kind of getting those notes?
Yes, that was my first time
cool.
truly drinking whiskey and kind of trying to understand
Right.
it. So then I was like, well, as anything with my life, if I can figure out how to take pictures of it, I'm going to create an Instagram for it. So I started Louisville Bourbon Buzz, and I had a whole freaking sheet of random names that I wrote down, and still lived with my parents at the time because I was a wee lad.
Understood.
And so we talked about it, and they were like, Louisville Bourbon Buzz. I was like, all right, that's it. So I started the Instagram, pushed that for about 2 years rather, getting married, renovating an entire house, had to put something to rest.
Yeah.
So I put Louisville Bourbon Buzz down, continued working my full-time job as as a portrait photographer at the time, and then basically COVID happened. I was like, well, I'm just drinking again. So I brought Louisville Bourbon Buzz back. So it's been a 3-year grind to get where it is now.
Yeah.
Wow. And I got to say, if please, listeners, go check out his page. Pictures are
they're stunning, man.
beautiful.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we kind of went through a lot of your old collection and just looked at a ton of pictures, and man.
I think what's been interesting with my page is when you all probably went through it, you could see when I shifted to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
It was day and night.
Yeah.
It was like picture, and then it was bam, all reels. And unfortunately, damn it, I blew up when I started doing fucking reels. Everybody was like, oh, you got to do reels. That's how you're going to have success. It's like, fuck off. It's like, I'm just going to keep doing pictures and doing what I did. And, well, fuck it.
And then you're like, fuck, I got to be in front of the camera.
I did reels, and then by golly, it worked.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but,
so
I love it. It has been fun. I did theater through high school, so I was used to acting.
Yeah.
And not that I am acting in my videos. I mean, what you see in my videos is me.
Yeah.
There's no character that I'm putting on in that. It's unfiltered me.
But that acting also builds that confidence just enough to be able to put yourself in front of that camera. To do
I am
that.
the biggest introvert. But if I go to a bourbon event, I am the biggest extrovert.
There you go.
Without alcohol in my system. But boy, when you get alcohol in my system.